Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me again on another ride. We've had the last 3 days of fairly heavy rain, and this morning you can see behind me that it's overcast and somewhat misty. But nevertheless, it's time to get those legs going again, and we're out today on a 90k ride. I'm currently about 10k into the ride, just having come up the hill from Thorpe Hughes towards Carlton, as we did in vlog 2. I know we won't be able to see much scenery wise today if this mist doesn't lift, but let's get going and see if there's anything else that's worth looking at. Maybe we'll see some wildlife, maybe we'll see some flora. Another 5k on, and apart from a few crows and pigeons, this is the first wildlife I've seen. Few horses out in the field. Coming down from Winnie Hill, I'm approaching the crossing on the A66, which hopefully will be quiet this morning, but we'll soon find out. Yep, clear to the right. And over we go. And now we're making for Long Newton before continuing south towards Yarm. This is Early Nook, which used to be home to a chromium works, but now the building that you see ahead of you is the headquarters of the Great North Air Ambulance. This is their administrative headquarters. The actual helicopter flies from Teesside Airport. We continue now over the railway crossing, but unfortunately we're back into urban situation. I'll catch up with you again once we are heading back out into the country. Having come through the outskirts of Eaglescliffe, we now come down to the traffic lights, where if we continued straight on, we go downhill and into Yarm High Street. However, we're going to turn right just after the traffic lights, up and up the hill over the railway on our way towards Aisleby. This is a view along Yarm Viaduct. Not an exciting view from here without any trains on it, but maybe we'll get a better view of the viaduct later on in our ride. Now we have quite a steep downhill. With a blind corner, so it's necessary to take this quite easy here. And here's another view of the railway viaduct. It's approximately 2 kilometres long, running over the River Tees. This is the little village of Aisleby. Only a few people live here, but we do our last little bit of climb up onto a plateau that takes us along to the 3 villages with Milton in their name that we'll be passing through. It's only rolling along here nice and flat, but then there's a massive downhill, absolutely brilliant. I'll show you when we get there. And here comes the downhill that I said was ahead. Not too much to start with, but it's a beautiful downhill from here on. You can see well ahead to make sure there's no traffic coming, and just let the bike have its head. Up ahead is Low Middleton. We're just passing under the glide path for Teesside International Airport. With the wind the way it is today from the northeast, planes would be landing from this end, but with the coronavirus there's not many planes using the airport at present. We've just entered the village of Middleton Munro. I'd like to point out the Devonport Hotel, which is just ahead of us. We might be able to see that again later in the ride if the mist isn't too bad. This is Middleton St George, the last of our three villages with Middleton in their title. It adjoins Middleton Munro. There's not many houses here, and it doesn't take us long to get out and into the country again. Now we're approaching Nisham village. It's an 11% downhill, and once we get to the crossroads it's a left turn and straight up 11% to get back onto the top of the ridge. Need to take care on this descent just at the corner ahead, as often it is covered in gravel from the likes of cars coming out at the side and what's been washed down the road. Left turn here for the uphill struggle. Here we go. And just drop it down into the small chain ring and just take your time going up the hill. And that's the worst of it over. We've just come into the hamlet of Low Dinsdale. And just round the corner here I'm going to stop and hopefully be able to show you something that most people tend to miss. I hope you can see the alpaca that's in the shed. There's usually two of them here, but I can't see the other one, so maybe it's sleeping. On the right is Low Dinsdale Church, where on a Saturday in September they hold a coffee and cake morning for cyclists. This is to raise money for the church, and it's well worth attending if you get the chance. Low Dinsdale Bridge crosses the River Tees, and with all the water we've had in the last few days, the river is quite high today. Often it's well down and you can see the riverbed below, but not today, it's quite deep. After leaving Low Dinsdale, we start a series of rolling hills as we make our way south again. On this occasion we're riding through a stand of lime trees. Some of these were threatened with being cut down by the council for some stupid reason of they might pose a risk to cyclists and other road vehicles. Can't see that for any reason, they seem sturdy enough. Looking across to the left from the Lime Tree Drive, we can see the village of Middleton Wonroe. Unfortunately, the Devonport is hidden by some of the taller trees. Just after a major Z bend in the road, we come up to the entrance to Gursby Hamlet. There's not much to see in the village itself, but I'll take you along to the end and show you the two things that are worth having a quick look at. The first thing of note is the old bridge going across the River Tees. Not something that you would probably want to use a road bike to access, but you could go down there on a mountain bike up the other side and then make your way along to Harworth. The other thing that's worth having a look at in Gursby is the quaint church. Small enough for the locale, but still quite a beautiful thing. Now as we come towards the end of the road from Nisham, we have another sharp gully to go through. A nice roll downhill. We're just round the corner. Got a sharp right hander on which there's often gravel. Oh, fairly clear today. I suppose maybe the rain's washed it all off. And then round here and up, and then continue round to the left. I must admit to being quite surprised that I've got to nearly 50k without having seen any domesticated animals apart from the horse and the alpaca. I was surprised that I didn't see any cattle or anything in the field. Well, makes a change when you get excited by seeing a few sheep. In the village of Appleton Wisk, I've just taken the time to pop out and see if the post office is open. It's been a lifeline during the coronavirus pandemic, as it's always been available for coffee, cakes and pies. Been a real lifeline. Well, that was an enjoyable stop at the post office. a large cup of coffee for £1 and a locally produced pork pie for £1.50. Just what you need in the middle of a ride. We're now on our way from Appledon West towards Hutton Rugby, and in non-coronavirus times there are 2 other cafes along this route. I'll indicate where they are as we go along, but for a quick stop, the post office at Appledon West is brilliant. On this ride we cross the main Edinburgh to London railway, so just take care and follow the signs. Stop if the klaxon starts to sound. The first of the cafes is at Whitegate's Garden Centre straight ahead. Just round the corner here you can turn off for West Roughton, and then the entrance is just on the left. We're passing through the village of East Roughton now, and our alternate cafe is just up the road. The next cafe is at Roots Farm Shop, just on the left here. The shop is open Monday to Saturday at the moment, but the cafe, because of coronavirus, is currently shut. However, in the farm shop they do sell cakes and tray bakes in individual portions, so if you fancy going in there you'll still get something to eat. Unfortunately, I don't believe they're doing take-out coffees. In the farmyard, however, there is a standpipe where you can fill your water bottles up for free. Maybe you can see those free-range chickens ahead. Don't know which farmer owns them, but they're always round this corner. Now we're in Hutton Rugby and we just have the big dip to do. 13% down and just about the same going back up again on the other side. Of the road, which makes it feel twice as hard to go up than it should do. So down into bottom chainring again and just take it easy. Now, there we are, through the worst of it. The closer we get back towards the River Tees and the sea, the thicker the mist seems to be again. But as you can see from the three-armed giants, the winds are picking up a bit, and maybe that'll disperse the mist again. As we've gone round the route today, there's been several places like this one on the right where you can buy eggs and jam or marmalade. So if you've got room in your bags and you fancy some of that stuff, feel free to buy it and help these farmers out in this difficult time. It's usually very good stuff. We've just entered the village of Maltby, which effectively marks the end of the countryside. We've only got the urban sprawl of Teesside to look forward to. First of all, we'll be going through Ingleby Barrack, then Stockton on our way back to Billingham. We turn right here to go into Ingleby Barrack. Now left to pick up the cycle tracks through town. Ingleby Barrack has been built with the cycle tracks integral to its design, so it's very easy for cyclists and pedestrians to move throughout the whole of the town without having to use the roads. Making our way back to the barrage before going to Billingham, and on the left is Stockton Riverside College and Teesside University. These flats here are the student accommodation. And here we go to cross the upper level of the Tees barrage. Well, that's us back at the barrage, having completed 50 miles or somewhere in the region of 80k, and all that's left for me to do now is to cycle back home up the side of the A19 on the cycle path. Not too interesting for you chaps, so I'll finish the vlog here, I think. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I see you next time. If you'd like to be notified when I post more videos, please hit the subscribe button below and then the bell and choose the all option. Thank you again for watching. Bye for now, stay safe. Finally, after nearly 90k, some cows, yeah!